Good morning, boys and girls. We're going to continue on with Ralph S. Mouse. If you remember, Ralph was deciding how is he going to go in the maze, and Ryan and Brad are working together on building the maze. Let's see what happens here. Ralph decided he would memorize the maze so he could dash through passages without bumping his nose even once. Ralph had no sooner made the decision than part of the maze must have fallen down. So Ryan said, "See, I told you it would work that way." Brad lost patience. "All right," he said. "Since you're so smart, you can make your own dumb maze for your own dumb mouse. I'll write a poem instead." "You don't like to write poems," Ryan reminded him. "I'd rather write a poem than work on your dumb maze for your dumb mouse," answered Brad. "His name should be Ralph D. Mouse, D for dumb." "Okay," said Ryan. "Suit yourself, but I don't see why you have to be so touchy all the time." Good, thought Ralph. Ryan will make it easy. When the last bell rang, Ryan asked permission to work on the maze at home because he still hadn't figured out how to make the partitions stand up. "Of course you may," Miss Kay told him, thereby destroying Ralph's plan to practice. "I hoped you and Brad might become friends if you worked together." She raised her voice above the scramble for jackets and cat. "Class, I have a surprise," she announced. "Someone who writes stories for the Cucaracha Voice heard about our mouse exhibit and wants to write it up for the paper. She's going to come Friday afternoon and bring a photographer." Cucaracha, although it had grown since Gold Rush days, was still a small town. News travelled fast. There was a buzz of excitement. Room 5 was going to have its picture in the newspaper. When Ryan plucked Ralph from his pocket, Ralph asked in his tiniest voice, "Do I get a chance to practice running through that thing before Friday?" "That would be cheating," said Ryan through his stiff lips. "The same as looking at a test question before a test." "Just one little peek?" Coaxed Ralph. "Nope." Ryan poked Ralph into Melissa's boot and ran off to catch his bus. Ralph crawled down around the bend to the toe of the foot boot where he sat brooding in the dusty, musty dark. For the first time since he had left the inn, he began to wonder if anyone missed him in his old home. Okay, Chapter 5, The Great Mouse Exhibit. Ralph spent the rest of the week dreading Friday. The days, in spite of all that went on in Room 5, dragged, but the nights passed more quickly. As soon as the man with the transistor radio and broom left Room 5, Ralph squeezed under the door and ran to the next classroom. The pictures made of seeds were now hanging above the blackboard, but enough split peas and lentils had fallen on the floor to make a good meal for Ralph. In the kindergarten room, he discovered a doll's house, which he enjoyed exploring. Still, even though it had a mouse-sized bed, it lacked the comfort of a ready-chewed mouse nest in the library. One night, however, Ralph had a narrow escape. Beside the book bag on the library shelf, he discovered an interesting contraption, something like a metal snail. Of course, Ralph had to investigate and found his back stuck to something he had not known about, tape. The rest of the night was spent trying to free himself. When he almost pulled his back free, his paws were stuck. When his front paws were unstuck, the strange sticky tape trapped his back paws and tail. Exhausted, Ralph managed to free himself as the first bus rolled up to the school. Wednesday morning, Ryan informed Ralph he could not sleep in his pocket any longer because Ryan's mother said his shirt smelled funny. Once again, Ralph's feelings were hurt. Ryan also said his mother had discovered the tiny peephole Ralph had nipped in his shirt. "She would," said Ralph. Okay, there's a picture of Ralph with the tape machine, the tape dispenser. Kind of funny, isn't it? Ryan defended his mother. "Maybe she's fussy, but she's a good housekeeper. That's why the hotel hired her," which was lucky for us. She really needed the job. Probably all mothers found something to fuss about, Ralph decided, even though his own mother was a poor housekeeper. He wished Melissa were fussier as he retired to the dark and dirty tunnel of her left boot. He missed the lulling lub-dub, but found staying awake in class and paying attention to Miss Kay much easier. The next day, someone dropped a woolly mitten, and it made a restful change from the boot. Thursday afternoon, Miss Kay said, "Ryan, don't forget to bring our guest of honour tomorrow." "I won't forget," promised Ryan, as if he did not know Ralph was lurking at the back of the room. The next morning, after his usual night of enjoying all that the school had to offer a lonely mouse, Ralph stayed awake to groom himself because he wanted to look the best when he was the honoured guest. The members of Room 5 also wanted to look their best for their picture in the newspaper, and they came to school looking neater than usual. Even Brad was wearing a clean T-shirt. Ryan brought the finished maze to school and placed it on the table at the back of the room, far above Ralph's head. Drat, thought Ralph, and he ran up Ryan's leg in hopes of a glimpse of the test that lay ahead. Ryan quickly popped Ralph into his pocket before he had a chance to look. Just before the last period, when the great mouse exhibit was about to take place, Ryan pulled Ralph out and took him to Miss Kay. "Welcome, Ralph," she said. To Ryan she said, "Put our little guest of honour in the fishbowl on my desk, then everyone can see him." To Ralph's horror, he found himself placed in a slippery glass bowl. Frantically he scrambled about trying to find a way out. When he found there was no way to escape and no place to hide, he sat quaking with indignation, a wee, sleek cow trim roused and beastie, just as the poem said. As the bell for the last period rang, the guests arrived. They were Mr. Tanner the principal, Mr. Seeger the librarian, Mr. Costa the custodian, and Room 5's room mother, who brought 26 little bags of popcorn for a treat. The Great Mouse exhibit was about to begin. Where's the reporter and photographer? Someone asked. "I'm sure they'll be along soon," answered Miss Kay, and she welcomed the visitors. Then she introduced the guest of honour, who turned his back and tried to become invisible. She pointed out the pictures of Ralph above the blackboard. "As if I look like those," thought Ralph with a sneer. Then Miss Kay said some members of the class had stories and poems about mice they wanted to share with their guests. She called on Brad, who slouched in the front of the room, and announced that he wasn't much good at poems and that his poem was sort of dumb. He read, "Ralph is a mouse, he's stupid, he's dumb, he's as bad as a louse, he belongs in a slum." Not very nice. All right, we're going to leave it there, boys and girls. Tomorrow we'll pick up and hopefully find out if Ralph S. Mouse makes it through the maze. I can't wait to see what happens. That's going to be chapter 6. Maybe we'll read to the end of chapter 5 and then leave the maze for Wednesday. We'll see how it all goes. Have a great day, boys and girls.